Hey everybody, it's Kaylee. In today's video, I want to talk about how I research bolos in my area. Research is something that I do pretty much every week, and it just really helps me to stay on top of what's selling and for how much within my parameters of what works for my business. I think it's really important to stay up to date on which brands are selling, as well as the styles and fabrics that are frequently selling. Brands that I used to sell no longer are popular, and so again, it's just really important to go on and see what is still trending because that's what you want to follow. I pretty much do this every single week. If not, I'm doing it at least once a month, but typically it's every week, especially transitioning from one season to another. I think it's really important to see what's selling right now, and that way you can stay ahead of sourcing. So as you guys know, no matter what platform I'm selling on, I usually start by doing a comp by looking at the eBay solds, and that's typically how I'm researching. I'm very rarely researching what's selling on Poshmark, although there are ways to do that. So in today's example, I am just going to go on eBay because that is the way I can really narrow down my search results. If you're somebody who sells on Poshmark, I highly recommend still looking up the solds on eBay because they just have way better data analytics. And typically what's selling on eBay is the same stuff that's selling on Poshmark with a few exceptions. On eBay, you can more accurately check the sell-through rate because it tells you how many results you're viewing. Something else you can do on eBay when you're searching solds is what I'm about to show you, and you can't do this on Poshmark. So when I am researching solds, I will typically open up the eBay app or on the desktop. I will search whatever category it is that I'm looking for. I will filter to pre-owned because I'm typically picking things up at thrift stores. So most of the items that I'm searching for are going to be pre-owned. And then I usually set my minimum price to $30 because between $30 and $40 is my average sale price. And so I want the minimum to at least be $30. That's just my sweet spot, but you can do whatever works for you. So that's typically how I research solds, but did you guys also know that you can actually filter by zip code? That's right, you can actually filter by the item location, meaning where the seller that has that item is actually located at. While I do think it's important to look up all kinds of bolo brands no matter their location, just in case you come across them, most of the time it's not really worth your time studying and committing to memory all of these brands because you're hardly ever going to come across them. Most of your efforts, in my opinion, should be spent learning what to pick up that you can actually find on a regular basis. And so by filtering to the item location in your area, you can actually see what you can pick up in your local area to flip for a profit, all the while excluding stuff that you're typically not going to come across. I get a lot of comments on my videos of people saying, yeah, I just don't find those brands in my area. And it can be really discouraging, and I've been there. A lot of comments that I've gotten have been like, wow, you pick up so many outdoor brands that I can never find. Things like Patagonia and LL Bean and Eddie Bauer. And that's just because that's what's popular in my area. So stop studying all of the brands that everyone else is picking up and look at what's actually available to you. So I'll show you how to do that right now. I want to start by saying that I used to be able to do this on the eBay app, and for whatever reason it just isn't there anymore, so they must have taken it off of the app, but you can still do this on the desktop. Maybe I just need to update my app, I don't know, but I used to be able to do it on there and I can't anymore. If you can do it on your app, drop a comment down below and let me know, but right now I'm just going to show you how to do it on the desktop.
Okay, so we are on ebay.com. I'm going to start by just typing in men's sweaters, as that's a category that I want to look at. Click into it. Now, on the desktop's a little bit different than searching on the app because it's actually going to be on the left-hand side. So I'm going to start by going to pre-owned conditioned. And from here, we are going to set a price. I personally, as mentioned before, am going to do $30. And you don't have to do like any of these filters in any particular order. You just want to make sure that you filter. So whatever you're comfortable with as far as filters go. So far I've got pre-owned and my minimum price set to $30. And let's go to solds. And so here are the solds. Now normally if I'm just like casually searching, this is how I would just go through and study things. But if you want to be way more detailed and you feel like you're not getting any brands in your area and you want to see what's available to you, you can scroll down to the item location area. You can say within however many miles, let's say 50 miles within the zip code of my office, and we will click to filter. And so now we're seeing things that are within 50 miles of my office and things that have actually sold that originated from within 50 miles. Now for me, I actually source away from my office, actually source in a different city that's about an hour away from me typically. So I think it would be actually more beneficial to put the zip code of that area. So let's go ahead and actually type in where I actually source at, because I definitely do not be sourcing around here. And we're actually going to broaden our search a little bit, because if you guys think about it, at least for Goodwills, I know this is true for Goodwills and a lot of other chain thrift stores, is that they share trucks. So there's like regions, and then that region that contains X amount of thrift stores, all the donations that they get at like the drop boxes and stuff or their distribution center then get put into a truck and delivered throughout that whole area. So you kind of want to be a little bit more broad. I'm personally going to put within 100 miles of the city that I most often source at. And then so from here with all of my filters, and just as a reminder, we are searching in the men's clothing area in men's sweaters. We have filtered to pre-owned. I said that my minimum that I wanted to show up was $30. I have filtered to the sold, so I'm not viewing what's available. I'm looking at what has actually sold. And then I have filtered to the item location within 100 miles of the city that I most often source at. I think that that is pretty good parameters, and you can see there's only 351 results in this category. Now, what's really nice about this is there's not a whole lot to look through. So if you're seeing something, something that's frequently popping up, either a frequent brand, a frequent material, or a style or a pattern, that is something that you can pretty easily come across. For me, because again, I come across a lot of outdoorsy stuff, finding stuff like this is pretty common in my area. And so I can find vintage, really nice printed sweaters or sweatshirts without worrying about brand, and know that it's going to sell pretty well. And this is something I can typically find in my area. And so, like I said, there's not a whole lot to actually go through, only 350 results. So it would be pretty easy to figure out what is actually selling in my area in this category. One nice thing also, if you don't want to basically clear all of your filters, you can save this search. And so it will notify you, but you can actually turn off the alerts. And then so when you are looking in your favorites list in your searches, you can actually go to your saved searches and it'll pull all of these filters up again, which is really nice. And so if I want to go ahead and switch over to another category, let's say women's sweaters. Searching sweaters because we're going into fall and winter right now. So that's what I'm after. Okay, so it did save my filters, which is really nice. So I would say, so you don't have to keep going through all of those filters, to do this all in one day and search different categories. So here's what in my area is selling. It's actually my coat. It's an older one that sold. And so that's how you can pretty easily, oh, there's another one. That's how you can pretty easily figure out what you can pick up in your area, the brands that are available to you, as well as the styles. And I think researching this, being more honed in on what to look for, is just way more efficient than looking through a ton of search results of brands and styles that you're probably not going to come across.
All right, guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. I hope that it's helpful, and I hope that it helps eliminate some of the discouragement when you are studying what brands to pick up. By filtering this way, you can know exactly what is available to you in your area. And I really like that you can kind of set the parameters as to what you want to be looking for. We're going to end the video here. If you're not already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell down below. That way you get notified when these tips and tricks videos go live. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.